Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning into my channel. You're welcome to my page. It's Denzo Mos Unscripted, and as I came out here to have my walk, the download came in, and the only thing that came in was the thing that came in as I was having the walk was the subject of the real reason why the narcissist doesn't want you to heal. Now, first of all, please take a moment. If this kind of content resonates, please take a moment to like and share and subscribe. And you're very, very much appreciated. You're all loved. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for standing with me. I bless you all and I love you all. Now, first of all, why doesn't the narcissist want you to heal? First of all, let's understand something in particular. For me, I would ask the question in a way that, in a sense that I would rephrase the question like, if you healed completely, will you ever be able to get back to the narcissist? So let's say if you've healed, if you've recovered completely, you've healed completely, you've taken your time, put in the work and healed, will you still go back to the narcissist? That's how actually I'll rephrase the question. And the answer is going to be very obvious. When you've done your work, when you put in the work, when you've gone out there, you've healed, you've put in the work, you've healed, you've recovered, there is no chance you're ever going to go back to the person who hurt you in the first place. So the answer becomes very obvious that when you heal, you can never look back and you can never go back to the narcissist. Because why? Now you can still remember, you can now remember all those things that transpired between the two of you, all those things that went on between the two of you, and there's no chance and no way you will ever give yourself that opportunity to go back to the person who abused you in the first place. That's how I would answer that question. So you see, this whole thing is a project. A narcissist doesn't have any intention for you. They have never had any intention for you. They will never have any intention for anybody out there. For everything that everybody gets involved with those people, it is a project. Anybody comes into contact with a narcissist, especially in terms of relationships, yes, those people will look at it as a relationship or a friendship, but the narcissist will more or less look at it as a project. So it's a project. Under the meaning of this abuse, the reason why narcissists actually inflict very deep emotional pain, sometimes physical, even sometimes deeply physical, emotional torture on their victims, it is basically because that is what they need for them to survive. All my videos have talked about a narcissist being an empty shell. Narcissist people, they are empty shells. And for them to be able to survive, they have got to use people as objects. They have got to find something like an object. So for them, people is like a piece of an object. So they need you, who is their victim, for them to be able to survive. You know what I mean? So that is how narcissists survive. So their survival mechanism is completely dependent on the people they date or the people they encounter. It doesn't matter whether they are their mothers or their kids. It can be anything. Narcissists are everywhere. So basically, during the abuse, the narcissist puts you through. They have already programmed, even before they met you. I've already done videos before. You've seen my videos, why the narcissist met you, why they chose you. So you've seen all those videos. So even before they met you, they have already scheduled a program that they are going to maneuver their way into your life, manipulate you, love bomb you, eventually trauma bond you, and then of course after the trauma bond, when you're deeply into the relationship, that's when the abuse now starts. They have already programmed everything, and they already have a manual of all the things they are going to do while they're with you, because they know how they know their manual. Their program is already written in the book. It's like something is already written in the back of their head. So they know from point A, I'm going to B, I'm going to C, I'm going to D. So from the love bombing phase, and eventually the discard phase. So the discard, actually they discard, and then eventually they hoover. So this is like a cycle. It's like a loop. So they know the whole game how it goes. And the reason why they are doing all the things they do is because they have got to abuse you. A narcissist has got to abuse you in whichever way. They do not know yes, maybe they know, or they don't know they're abusing you, because sometimes I told you they always have that evil veil over them, evil backside of evil side of them that pushes them to inflict pain and to do the things they do to the people. But then you see a narcissist, they have already lost control of themselves for a very long period of time, even before they met you. So they do not have any control anymore of their actions and the things they are doing. They have completely lost control of themselves. They don't even know who they are sometimes. Now, when a narcissist has been able to secure you as a source of supply, when they have been able to secure you in their hands as a source of supply, people, you need to understand something, that it is very, very difficult for a narcissist to forget about you. The only thing I've always said they do is to put you off somewhere on the shelves, get a new source of supply, start the cycle again, all over again, and eventually discard those people, those new people, and then eventually pick you up. And for a narcissist, it's very, very important for a narcissist to keep you in that state of paranoia, whereby you still don't even know who you are. Because most of the people who have dated narcissists, they've eventually forgotten who they are. You know what I mean? Because when a person is manipulating your brain, at the end of the day, you lose yourself. You know what I mean? You lose track of yourself, and sometimes you cannot even recognize yourself anymore. And most of the people who have actually ended narcissistic relationships, or probably they've been discarded, or the narcissist has actually discarded them. Most of the people who are out there, they have eventually found out, realized that they have actually lost track of themselves, so they don't recognize themselves anymore. So that's what usually happens with narcissists. And for the narcissist, it's very important to keep you. That's why most of the time they discard you before actually you getting the closure that you need. You know what I mean? So they eventually discard you without you getting the proper closure that you need, because they know when you actually get the closure that you need, it is very easy for them, it is very easy for you actually to move on without ever looking back and without ever actually engaging the narcissist. So they make it a point for them to keep you in the cycle of to keep you guessing. They want to keep you guessing. What happened? You know, what exactly happened? Why have they discarded you? So they want you to have all those questions in your mind at that time when you've been discarded, because they know that they are the only people, especially if you're dealing with the covert. They're the only people who know what they have done to you behind the curtains. Of course, nobody knows. It's not a lot of people know all the pain you've gone through. It's only the narcissist who knows exactly what they have done to you. So what happens is that they do not want to give you closure, because they feel if they give you the closure you need, then you're going to use that as the foundation for your recovery, and that is what you're going to use for you now to start the recovery process and to go on and heal yourself, and eventually you realize that you cannot go back to them. So a narcissist, for them, is very important. They cannot afford losing you as a supply. It does not matter if they have discarded you. The only thing I've always told you, they have discarded you just for a certain amount of time, until they will feel that they need to get you back into a relationship. When they feel they're ready to get you back, they always run around and pick you back and bring you back into a relationship. You know what I mean? So they have never really let you go. So if you've been discarded, if you're out there and you've been discarded, and then you're like wondering, as soon as you've left those people, you left their vicinity, you've left the environment, then you're still going to realize that actually they're still lingering around in your business. They're still communicating, they're still calling, they're still trying to find you, they're still it's like everywhere you look. And again, it does not matter if the the narc themselves, they have moved on to like new sources of supply. It doesn't always matter. As long as you've been with a narc and you leave them for a short period, even for a short period of time, they will always keep on sneaking in your business, because they are trying to see and trying to find out, have you finally found out, have you noticed, have you figured them out? You know what I mean? It is for them very important to keep on following you up, because they want to know if you have figured them out, if you have been able to finally figure them out. You know what I mean? Because I can talk about like 80 or 70%, the people who live narcissistic relationships, they have not yet figured out who the narcissist is. They have not yet unmasked them. You know what I mean? So most of the people, they are still in that limbo. They are still in that kind of a stage whereby they cannot even gather the events. What exactly has happened? You know, they have just been discarded just abruptly, just like that, and they have not yet gotten the closure they need. So most of the people, they have been discarded without closure. They have been discarded without actually finding out that they have been dealing with the beasts at home for all these years, all this period of time. And the narcissist doesn't want you to go out there and start asking a lot of questions. They want to make sure that they are still the only people who are answering your questions. So they'll be sending you the messages every now and then, every minute, just trying to check, trying to check the waters. How are you? What's going on? What did you eat? Blah, blah, blah. So they will make sure that they keep a control on your life. Even when you're out of that home and out of that relationship, they want to make sure that they still control your life, and they try to push the buttons. Because by monitoring you, by having access to your life and monitoring you, calling you, SMSing you, emailing you, whatever, Facebook, Instagram, they want to make sure that they are keeping an eye on you. Where are you going? Who are you dating? They want to have an update of each and every single event happening in your life, because for them it is very important that you do not find out who they are. They know that when by some chance you're able to unmask them and really figure out who they are, they know that for sure, a core fact, you are never ever going to be able, even just to look at them. You cannot even stand looking at them in the face, because they know when you find out, when you finally figure out who these people are, you will never go back to them. Most of them, they know who they are. Those people who have aged, the narcissists who have aged, like they have grown older and older, they finally know that they're narcissist. You know what I mean? And they finally know how their manual works. Or each and every single victim, they know what they are going to do to them, and they know what is going to be the end result. But the last thing a narcissist wants is you going out there to heal. They will never accept your healing, because they know when you finally heal and recover from this abuse, they know that you are never going to go back there, because you will realize now. Because first of all, guys, I want to tell you something. When you heal, and this is the raw experience actually, when you heal, it is that moment whereby now you're going to be able to reflect on all these years, all this time you've been with this narcissist, and now you're going to start you'll start to see now in open light whatever you've been dealing with. You'll be able to figure out, because when you're still in pain, when you're still under abuse, when you're still in torture and abuse, you are not able to identify a lot of things. You're not able to see these people, because the abuse is too much and intensive. And it's like from one abuse to another, from one abuse to another. So it's like you are in a very long loop of abuse, whereby you cannot sit down and figure out exactly what exactly is happening to me and what is exactly happening in this relationship. You will never get a chance to figure them out. But when you get out there and heal, that is when now, for the first time in so many years, you are going to realize that yes, this pain has been very intensive, and actually this pain was actually sending you to your deathbed. I could use the word like that. A narcissist will abuse you to death. They will abuse you until the last day of your life, because that is a narcissist manual. They are supposed to destroy their victims. For a psychopath, it can be very obvious, because they can just take a gun and shoot somebody out there or whatever. But for a covert narcissist, they will abuse you and kill you slowly. It's like they put you somewhere, and every day they are coming, they will come around and, take a small piece of you, off your body. You know what I mean? Like chop off a piece of your body, one at a time, or one step at a time. And then eventually, when they discard you, they usually know that you have reached that moment whereby now it's almost the end of your life. It is their program. They have destined you for the dead. The narcissist is designed. They have been programmed. They have that program of abuse, which sometimes is even sending people to their grave. A narcissist can abuse you to death, and they'll move on to the next victim, like you never existed. So you can never forget. When you heal, you know that you can never forget what the narcissist did to you. Yes, you've forgiven them, because forgiving is part of the healing. Sometimes you have to forgive somebody, even if they have not apologized. This is not because you're stupid or something like that, but this is mean. You're forgiving them just for you to have that peace of mind, and then for you actually to completely go into full healing mode. You know what I mean? So it pushes you very deeper into healing when you forgive somebody. But it's not always mean that you're stupid by forgiving someone. Yes, you still remember everything. But at the end of the day, after full healing, you're going to realize you can go on all these media sites and you will see all the people who have been abused by narcissists. They have never forgotten what those people did to them. It does not matter whether somebody has healed or whether somebody is still healing. As long as you have been in a narcissistic relationship, you can never forget what the narcissist did to you. You have forgiven them and you've let them go. But then also, you know that you have never forgotten, and that thing now is still lingering in your head. And believe me, you can even find that sometime even after so many long periods of time, even sometime years, you're still getting the flashbacks in your head, because that abuse, I can assure you, it is the most intensive abuse anybody can ever experience from a narcissist. It's very, very intensive. Very toxic and very intensive. You know what I mean? So you can forget about healing. If a narcissist is if they have discarded you for whichever reason or whichever way, you have got to be sure that the narcissist does not, for whichever reason, they do not want you to heal, because it is for them very vital for you to stay in that pain mode. It's like you're still in that pain. Yes, the pain will, of course, because they're not there. For example, if you've been discarded, yes, they're not there at the moment. So sometimes there will be days where you forget about them. But because that pain has been very deeply injected, they have injected you with so much pain, and your body has gotten too much used to pain. And sometimes you've even become immune to the pain. So sometimes when you go out there and you leave the narcissist, you will find yourself getting the flashbacks every now and then, the flashbacks of that abuse. You know what I mean? So if you stay in that kind of a mode, it is very easy for a narcissist still to push the buttons, because they still have the remote, even if they have discarded you. They are still the ones with the remote, and they still want to push that remote wherever they want to. So it is up to you to remind yourself that the narcissist does not want you to heal. And as much as you understand that, is also should be that empowering factor that you should use as a stepping stone, as a foundation, for you to concentrate and do everything in your power to make sure that you focus on your healing. But first of all, very importantly, to go no contact, because as long as you're out there, believe me, the narcissist will always swing around your home. They will swing around your social media sites. They will look for you. They will send flying monkeys. They will do everything in their power to see what it is that is happening to you. So it is always in your power to make sure that you go no contact. If you're a person who is looking for a full healing and a full recovery, it is always very vital for you to keep yourself in a no contact mode and block yourself off from these narcissists, because these people, they are evil. They will always keep an eye on you, and they'll always monitor your movements to make sure that you do not heal, because they are preparing you for a hoover. They want to make it very easy for a hoover to get through when they're ready. The secret for them blocking your healing is because they want to prepare the hoover. And the hoover is supposed to come in that moment whereby you're not yet fully healed and you still have that kind of attachment to them. You know what I mean? So you still have that kind of attachment whereby if they come to hoover you, you'll be ready to go back with them, because you have not yet fully healed. That's why most of the coaches online, actually, they have encouraged people to completely go no contact. When you're looking for recovery from a narcissist, you cannot by any chance, by any way, for whichever reason, keep on communicating with those people, because those people, they have already intoxicated you with abuse. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of time to heal. So make sure that when you go out there, Whether you've been discarded, it's a blessing. Whether it's you was discarded, it's also a blessing. And make sure you go out there, go no contact, and make healing your priority. Other than that, guys, it's been a lovely day. I wish you all the best, full recovery and success, and eventually a new version of you. Denzel Moss signing out. Love you all.